All right. we're fucking reacting to a 2018 video of fucking garbage. I know Falcon. This is. I don't even know why. I prefer Jake Baldino over Falcon, to be honest. When it comes to the opinions, in my opinion. Goddamn.
There's quite a lot of stereotypes around console gaming.
Okay.
Folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, 10 console gaming myths debunked. Number 10, consoles don't get the equivalent of Steam sales.
Yes, that's the original myth, by the way. Consoles don't get the equivalent of Steam sales. That doesn't mean they don't get it. You fucking bitch. Yes, Steam has a fuck ton of sales, especially when games go up to 90% off. You could never get the same thing as a console. And plus, you don't even really have to buy it from Steam. I know you get it from Steam. You know, I know there are people from. I know there are people that just buy games only from Steam. I used to be like that. I'm buying 300 fucking games on it, honestly, and I just got it on my backlog. But man, it's there's something else whenever you buy it from a different platform. No, fuck the Epic Game Store, by the way.
But the truth is, if you need to find a console game cheap, there are absolutely Steam-like sales. Sometimes...
Yeah, no shit, but why the hell would you call it a Steam-like sale? You just call it a deep discount instead. Call it a deep discount instead of saying, "Oh, Steam-like sale," because you think that 90% of sales games are like only applied on Steam and not and it cannot be from GOG, it can't be from the Epic Games Store, it can't be from Battle.net, Ubisoft Connect. Go fuck yourself, Ubisoft, with your fucking response and stop killing games. EA, also go fuck yourself, EA. But oh, I don't know why you're trying to compare like deep sales to Steam for some reason. There's no point in fucking doing this shit. There is literally 0 point in absolutely trying to compare anything to Steam sales. That's why it's not really a myth that you don't. Again, the original myth is consoles don't get the equivalent of Steam sales, and then you're trying to argue against that, even though, again, Steam has sales way more often than PlayStation, and you don't really have to pay for or Xbox as well, and you don't really have to pay for fucking membership as well. I know that's off topic from whatever the myth is, but you get my point. Oh shit.
with extreme discounts.
Oh yeah, this is from EA Origins. This is not. You can just tell by the orange font. This is from fucking from EA Origins. Not really. It's not from PlayStation nor Xbox. There's no way you got this from the fucking Xbox store. Oh, hold on a fucking second. Jesus Christ. There's no way you got this from the Xbox store, man. There's no way you got this from the PlayStation stores either. You got this from EA Origins. You got this from a fucking PC storefront. What a fucking retard.
Now, does it happen as often as Steam sales?
Yeah, no shit. Obviously, they just want to control their own fucking storefront because you bought a plastic box that only has that control of that one specific company instead of a PC where you can just buy it from any other platform. And to prove that, I'm gonna get my alcohol away. I have this. I just installed Ghost Runner. I have this because I'm just starting to get my collection in GOG, and then I have all of this. Jesus Christ! All that for Steam. Oh yeah, this is all user, by the way. That's not part of Steam, but thanks Valve for that. Very cool. Yeah, over the past I would say I think my purchasing addiction, or like the usual first time I purchased anything on Steam was back in 2016. So it was like almost 10 years ago. And I've never regretted one, one ever since. Even that, I can just I even like I even ordered like I even bought some of the games and refunded it, and at least that's better than fucking this. I know this is 8 years old. It could have been PS5 deals instead, but it's still fucking ages like wine, ages like milk. Whenever they just don't really change at all. They don't have to compete against Steam. They don't have to compete against any other PC platform. They don't have to compete against Xbox. They don't have to compete against Nintendo. Nintendo can control their prices on their own thing. Xbox does the same thing. PlayStation does their own thing. They don't give a shit. They don't care. Plus, you probably have to pay more on the console than you do on the PC anyway. So, yeah, you're fucked.
It's probably a little bit more grounded of a question to ask, but they do happen. And sure.
Yeah, no shit, they have it. No one's denying that they don't have. No one's denying that they have it. That's not part of your myth. That's not a part of a myth. Oi, do I really need to repeat myself whenever you say the myth is consoles don't get the equivalent of Steam sales? Holy shit. That's not a myth. You're still proving PC sales right. You're still proving Steam sales right when they get it more often. If by use shit. Okay, I can't even say words. If you would have said that the console sales get it as often as Steam sales get it, maybe that would have been it. But no, you of course they don't have it as much as the fucking Steam sales would. Of course they don't. Of course they don't. Why would you? It's not a myth. It's a fact, bro. It's a fact.
It doesn't necessarily
Get out of here.
as often, but to
Yeah, no
outright
shit. Obviously.
say that these things don't happen on consoles is wrong. It's
No shit, it isn't wrong. Oh man, no shit is wrong. Again, consoles don't get the equivalent of Steam sales. It is so true. I really should not really repeat myself for the fourth fucking time right now. That's what you've put out there. Sorry, get out of here.
It's not even really a matter of keeping your eyes open either, because Steam sales are so frequent. It's just a matter of more retail-like frequency
Yes.
on consoles.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Just like fucking, like actual retail stores like Walmart. And Target. And Best Buy and Micro Center and those are the only ones I don't know. I'm sorry. And PC Richard and Son. Oh yeah, they get sales, just not as often as Steam, of course, and Amazon. I'm not okay. I guess I shouldn't really be talking about e-commerce. More like big box stores.
Number 9, the myth that controllers just automatically suck. Cause mouse and
For shooters, controllers are objectively the worst. Everyone knows this. Even the people that actually play as pro. I'm just assuming this because I'm just watching this probably for the first time in my life because I barely watch game ranks. The only ones that I watch game ranks for is Jake's opinion, and that was it. Jake Baldino's opinion over Falcons, because Falcons' opinion is just, I don't know, man. It's just absolutely fucking garbage a lot of the time. I don't even know why he's trying to make a filler video at this point, while I'm making a filler video for no reason. Who cares?
keyboard, guys. Like, I am
Yes, no shit. Mouse and keyboard are better. Again, yes. Again, mouse and keyboard players are destroying controller users over Overwatch also. Yeah, no shit. Wow. You get to use your wrist? Wow. You don't get to let go of your thumbs from the thumbstick when you have to press a button? Wow. Well, you can just use your finger as a claw grip. Smash players already know this. That's called the jump button on the X. The fucking game controller. It's whatever, but again, you get more precise with a mouse and keyboard. More than a controller.
not going to
By the way, gyro controller is better than controller. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
sit here and tell you that for a first-person shooter, the majority of people can at least eventually do better with a mouse.
Eventual. Eventually. I mean, I don't think, no, that's not even true. Eventually. From a controller. If you got used to a controller, of course you get used to the amount of timings that you have to deal with from getting from here to here, obviously. And how tight you want to do it. I don't know. Fucking how much let's say, I don't know, tilt or just movement you want to put it in. But with the mouse, you just do that like in not even half an hour and you'll be just fine. If you're going from controller straight to mouse, and this is, dude, you're just so much better with a mouse. Even if you played the same game for like thousands of hours.
Mouse and keyboard. That doesn't stop people from using controllers like crazy.
Yeah, but but nobody's saying you shouldn't use a controller. But nobody's saying you shouldn't use a controller. And plus, this is a fucking touchpad, by the way. A mouse. It's a mouse functionality. Get the Steam controller out of here, because it has mouse functionalities in here, which is better than fucking stick. Jesus
According
Christ.
to data Valve released, there are millions upon millions of Steam users that are specifically using console controllers on.
Yeah, but they're not using on fucking first-person shooters, you dimwit. You're like focusing on one genre. You're focusing on one genre. Yeah, you could have said something else with like 3D platformers, which my argument, I think mouse and keyboard is still better at that. 3D platformers, a hat in time, mouse and keyboard. But you can still use a controller. It's still pretty good at that. Dark Souls, a lot of people use controller over that. Well, it's fine. Any Soulsborne Keto Ring Night Rain game that they have, boom, easy. Rock Band instruments, bro, they just use that as a fucking as a rhythm game. Get the fuck out of here. SNES games, any game that doesn't really require a stick, obviously. GameCube, Dolphin. That's it. Race wheel, racing games, N64, dance pads. Really? You're saying that they use console controllers on Steam, and you don't even fucking specify what kind of genre you even go for, like PC gamepad, the Logitech pad. I mean, yeah, because it's cheap, obviously. Switch Pro controller. I mean, yeah, because it's a Switch Pro controller. It's still a controller. Duh. PS2. RetroArch, in my opinion. Let me actually go back. Can I go back, please? Fight stick. No shit. Fighting games, bro. Fighting games. You can still use a keyboard for fighting games. Tekken and Street Fighter 6. Steam controller. Bro, it has a fucking mouse in it. Other. Your mom. PS3. No shit. PS4. Of course. The Xbox. No shit. It's called so many other games aside from FPS and real-time strategy games. If you want to use a controller for 3D platformers, Metroidvania, fighting games, racing games, action games as well, you could do that. Still prefer mouse and keyboard for that, in my opinion. Alright, any difficult games as well. You can still use a mouse and keyboard. That doesn't mean shit. Get out of here.
On Steam, so many that it is impossible to ignore the idea that for a lot of people, a controller is just a more fun way to play.
A more fun way to play. Is that what you're gonna say, Falcon? A more fun way to play. Isn't it because they're just used to it? Not because it's a more fun way to play. It's because they're used to it. Obviously. Like a lot of the games they're used to using a controller. And I'm not saying that I'm not really used to a controller, because I am. Obviously, if you want to play that, you want to play like any game that you want to use a controller for, of course Steam is not gonna ignore it. No shit. It's called support. That's why Valve supports every single one of those controllers. PC gaming massive. Fuck, I'm so drunk. Oh my god. PC Master Race all the way. And plus I'm using Linux. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if I'm using Linux.
Play. I realize that there are a lot of people that play games for competitive reasons.
Competitive reasons. You can use a controller, bro, for competitive reasons. Oh my god. It's... Yeah, hell, you can even use Fight Stick for competitive reasons. Mouse and keyboard. Shooting games. A lot of the time, it's shooting games and RTS games. Like almost all the time. Fight sticks. Fighting game competition, guys. Controller. Well, there's some game some quick if you want. You can fucking compete in anything. Yeah, hell, you know what? Game controllers. Smash Bros, Melee, and Ultimate. Fight sticks. You can just play any other fighting game if you want. 2D, 3D. That's it. 2D and 3D fighting games. If you want to play platform fighting games, go ahead and use a controller if you want. Who cares? You can use a mouse and keyboard if you want. Who cares? Shooting games, objectively, mouse and keyboard is better. RTS, objectively, mouse and keyboard is better. Hell, if you want to race against someone, that doesn't matter. Racing wheel is better. Fuck.
Or to even become a professional, and I understand why that type of person wouldn't like a controller. But keeping in mind that the majority of all of the
this guy, he's only focusing on one genre. I will make this a fucking hour long at this point. Who cares? But he's only focusing on one genre that can just compete in, aka probably CSL's league. Probably FaZe. COD. No, sorry, not FaZe. Sorry, MLG. My bad. MLG. CSL and MLG. League of Legends? Forget about that. I guess that's I guess it doesn't get you competition. Checkmania? Fuck that, man. You don't get no competition for that either. Let's see. Fighting games, fight sticks won't get you up there. Oh man, he's not really denying that. I'm just putting that shit in his mouth.
most of us play games for fun. It makes sense that
Really? Really? Play games for fun. Yes. Oh, no shit. We play games for fun. That's why we play games. Because they're fun. Does anyone need to explain that? Fuck. No one needs to explain that. Get out of here. No.
if we think something is more fun, we're gonna use it. A lot of people happen to think
Wait, are you saying sometimes the controllers are more fun and then you're gonna use it? What if it's just required? Like, say it as like a console. Like you're playing on a console, you can't really use a mouse and keyboard. Or like, say if you never had a mouse and keyboard at all, and then you're just required to play a controller. Like, wouldn't that be not as fun? You don't have a choice. It's called I mean, it's called choice, right? Choice. That's why you can just choose whatever the fuck you want. No one's like, yeah. If you think controller, but yeah, we're only focusing on one genre. Again, only one genre, not not the hundreds of genres that we have right now. One genre, which is shooting games. If you think controller is more fun, shut up. Get out of here. More people are gonna use mouse and keyboards anyway.
controllers are more fun. It is all a matter of personal taste. And just
Wow! Didn't I think about that he's gonna say that? Oh, it's a matter of personal taste. Yeah, no shit. No shit. It's a matter of personal taste. Also, I still think that in the matter of personal taste, people are gonna just use anything for a very specific reason or for a very specific genre. It doesn't have to be like one controller for everything. That just means you just have a lack of choice, in my opinion.
just using controllers on a game console doesn't automatically make game consoles or controllers bad. Also,
Who the fuck said that this is bad? Who the fuck said that? Alright, I gotta close my door. Jesus Christ. Who the hell said that is bad? Maybe there's some people they're like some people that say that controllers in itself is just bad. Which I can understand because they don't really put 1,000 Hz in it. Oh my god. I think there are controllers out there that have 1,000 Hz and then wouldn't really have a problem with it. Even the regular controllers. I have an Xbox controller. I use it for way more games than I would usually think. I would use it for 3D platformers, racing games, sometimes fighting games if I had to. But now I just have a leverless fight pad. Who cares? You can use whatever you want. Obviously, that's PC. Use whatever you want. You can use a fucking SNES pad for your retro games, which I know it's way better than what AAA games are giving us right now. Hell, you could just use a keyboard for everything. You can just do that, or you just use a controller all the time. Nobody's judging you. Like, if you think it's bad, that's your opinion. Deal with it.
Also, Microsoft is working on mouse and keyboard support for their console.
Yes, because in shooting games, mouse and keyboard is always better. You see how much I contradict myself, but that doesn't really. I kind of contradict myself so much. While yes, it is objectively better, you can still use a controller. Nobody's stopping you from using a controller. So stop, please.
So it's fair to assume that Sony.
Stop, please. Stop talking about the fact that they supported mouse and keyboard because it's better that way, and plus they're trying to be more of PCs than their own canvas. Their own, it's basically becoming PCified. If it's becoming PCified, why not just get a PC? I'm not even kidding. If it's becoming PCified, where every single console has the same games, and you're trying to support mouse and keyboard for it, why not just get a PC? Why not just get a PC? Might as well just get a Dreamcast. Not even. Just get yourself a CRT. Use a light gun, and just play Point Blank. I never played it, honestly. I just watched too much Matthew Matosas, and I like the channel.
Probably follow with that because now they're letting their players play Fortnite with other players.
Wow, that's such a crazy thing, huh? Okay, I shouldn't really talk about that. I don't really play Fortnite.
Experience is superior. That's why they didn't let them in the first place. So, we'll see. Number 8, porting a game to consoles is easy. This, of course, makes the huge...
I never heard that. I've never heard that myth. I've heard the myth of porting. It's not the fact that porting it is easy. It's just like porting it to consoles is hold on. I would say you get a much worse experience a lot of the time when you port games into consoles. Or unless if that's in my mind. Unless if this is me. But you get usually a much, now I wouldn't say a huge inferior experience, but like at least worse than the PC version of porting. I don't think anyone's saying porting is easy. Look at fucking Doom 2016 on the Switch. That's one of the hardest ports they could get, and that's really impressive. Doom 2016 on the Switch. They managed to, I'm assuming they managed to get it on 60 FPS. I never got it on the Switch because I never cared about it. I never cared about buying it on Switch, obviously. I got it on Steam. But they managed to port it on Switch with 60 FPS and everything, and that was like magical and everything. Nobody's saying porting is easy. Get out of here, goomer. Nobody cares about that one.
Number 7, the myth that all console players are kids. Oh, what?
If you look on Twitter, a lot of the console war defenders are like 30 plus a lot of the time. I'm not even gonna get into this myth. Of course it's a myth. This one's just filler. This one is also filler. Nobody cares about these. We all know that if you looked at Twitter or Fratanga or Alex, oh no, it's Alex, or Joe from Seattle, or any other people that usually make content about the people that console war, you'll know that they're a bunch of 40-year-olds. They're a bunch of 30 plus year olds, man. I'm not even kidding. No social communities. What the fuck is this? What is this? No social communities. What the hell? I'm not even. The reason why I keep skipping these is because, of course, porting isn't that easy. It's way harder there, and they usually lock it to the 30 FPS, so there's no point in that. All consoles are kids. Why do I need to argue with that? No social communities. Why the fuck do I need to argue with that one as well? There are social communities. No shit, they are. It's called gaming community. It's called the gaming community. You can do that. The speedrunning community you can do as well. What the fuck, man? What is this? I don't even need to do this shit. No MMOs. Wait, let me see this shit.
You can't or shouldn't play MMOs on a console, which...
Really? I mean, I don't play much MMOs anyway. I can't really say much about it. But of course there are MMOs on there. You remember Phantasy Star Online on the GameCube?
If you've ever
I never played
Final
it, by the way.
Fantasy, A Realm Reborn, which didn't start off great, but was a realm that got reborn, it turns out it's not only possible, but pretty good to play MMOs on console. At least when console conventions are actually looked at as part of the equation.
Again, this is just another filler. this one is just another filler. Filler. This is so filler. And this one's not. This one's just actually true. This one is filler. Filler. Are you serious? Fucking filler. That's another filler. No online gaming? That's another filler. Of no shit, there's online gaming ever since 2003. Maybe even that. Maybe even before that. In the early to mid 2000s. Are you fucking stupid, Falcon? You're trying to just make this a filler just to make more money. All consoles are hardcore. I don't even need to fucking just watch the fucking video to see how bad this thing is. All consoles are hardcore. Man, you could have said our arcades are hardcore because that would have been more true than consoles. But consoles and modern games in general are getting way too easy. They're trying to fucking handhold you to the goddamn end. And a lot of us just pointed that out, and we just hated that. Again, they're not that hard. They're not hard. And they're not really console gamers. There are hardcore games on PC, for fuck's sake. All consoles are hardcore. No, they're not. Starting with the Wii. The Wii became like one of the few consoles that just gave us a way to like easy mode and everything while playing on hard mode. Hard mode easy. There's the actual hard mode, and then there's the easy version of the hard mode. That could be the case. Oh my god, what is this video, man? I'm just embarrassing myself. Consoles are hardly bad gaming. This is true. Wait. Let's see the reasoning for this
The
one.
idea that consoles are holding back gaming, either in graphics or in general. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen people...
I think it's more of how would you even quantify that exactly? Consoles are holding back gaming. Okay. How would you even quantify that consoles are holding back gaming, huh? If that's the case, why are consoles trying to be like PCs? I know I repeated myself before with this thing. Are you gonna say that PCs are holding back gaming? Let me see this shit.
complain about the idea that because console hardware is technically inferior, that
Yes.
games have to be made.
Again, not mobile, but it's using weaker hardware. Of course they might be holding back gaming. Obviously, if you're a third party dev or publisher, and then you just release it on consoles, yes, it holds back a little bit.
for them, and
Oh no, this is not fact. I could easily be wrong on this. So take it with the grain of alcohol, and don't drink it.
that being they're made on technically inferior hardware, they're worse for whatever reason. Either
Yes, yes, yes. Obviously, it is. Consoles are made to be like just fucking console hardware. They're not meant to be like PC hardware. Um, there was one argument that the what was it, the PS5 tries to be like comparable to the RX 6700, and then there was, I think, there were tests, I'm assuming, in Digital Foundry, which I also didn't watch, by the way. That I know watch people watch Digital Foundry. That's my problem. That is my problem with how I watch fucking shit. That again, the RX 6700 is way better than the consoles themselves. And at actually 1080p instead of 540p and 720p, by the way, when they're actually scaling instead of upscaling the living garbage shit to 1080p. So, no, get out of here.
or for some other reason, like consoles are way too mainstream for me, man. And
Nobody argued against that. What the fuck? Consoles are made way too mainstream, man. Give me the fucking evidence that someone actually argued against that consoles are too mainstream, man. Fuck, man. Whenever you think consoles are too mainstream, I go straight to the niche, which I actually find them much better than the mainstream, by the way. But in this case, I don't really agree. I don't really agree with. Nor did anyone argue against this anyway. Yeah, PCs going mainstream. Consoles are already mainstream anyway. Arcades are niche. They're much more niche than it used to be. So what gives?
And it's not an irrational accusation by any means, but it doesn't really think about the idea that because money is made off of console games, that
Money's made more on PC gaming, by the way. There are people on the PC that buy. No. Hold on. That I phrased that wrong immediately. Jesus Christ. More people buy games on PC than they do console. Capcom proved that. I will usually buy games on the PC when they're available on the PC. If I have to buy it from their own games, then more than likely, I just won't buy it. Despite me being a fucking, despite me be, my God, I can't even speak. Despite me having the PS4, PS2, 4 fucking DSs, a Wii U, a Switch 1, a Wii, and the original Xbox, and the PS3. And the 3DS. And the Neo Geo Pocket Color. I wouldn't even be buying those anyway then, because at least they're just more widely available on PC, and it's like better that way. Duh.
games get made at all. Gaming itself is an industry that doesn't care about platforms, it cares about money. And if you
Cares about money. That's like every industry, you dipshit.
like franchises to grow and get bigger, I'm not saying you have to have consoles to do that, but in terms of AAA gaming, where companies are trying to reach the largest audience possible, it'll
This is when they see these types of games as products more than they see art. Look at what fuck happened to fucking Assassin's Creed. Look at what happened to Tekken 8 actually. When you want to make as much money as possible, do you really think of it as art or as a product? You give me the answers. I don't know which one.
Allows them to actually put more money aside to make the game in the first place. There is more potential for return without question by simply associating a console with it.
What? What? If that would have been the case, it's called being exclusive, which is the most anti-consumer thing ever. But if you want the most attention, exclusivity and actually making good, most importantly, making actually good games that also run well, that are actually fun, and that actually have every other thing that we gamers want. Not just you seeing it as a product and we keep buying it.
I would argue that if game consoles didn't exist, then computers would end up taking more console-like traits than you probably think they would.
Is there any evidence of that? Do you have any evidence of that? Do you have any evidence of that? Or would it be the same thing over and over again, like Nvidia and AMD both being founded in 1999 and 2000, and they will still be innovating their graphics and everything, their GPUs year over year. And I'm not talking about this year, by the way. Nobody, a lot of not. They're 5060s. It's not that great. Their 9070 XT is way too fucking expensive. I'm not even on the latest PC specs anyway. I'm on a 4-year-old CPU with a 3-year-old GPU anyway.
There's a certain type of customer that doesn't want to play games on their Windows PC, and they happen.
Then just use Linux. Then just use macOS. Then just use a Steam Deck. What? You can just use any other fucking open platform if you want. If you want console, go ahead and emulate your PS3. You know what, I'll do it or PS2. You know what, I'll just look at PCSX2. Fuck. There it is. I got a couple. Nobody cares. I got a couple of games right here. Yeah, like God Hand. I never played it. Jesus Christ. You can do that. Emulation is key. It is important at this point. Just pirate everything. Just fucking pirate everything. Just play. Just emulate the games. Then doesn't have to be on a specific platform. You can just emulate it on Windows. You can emulate it on Mac. You can emulate it on Linux. Actually, I haven't tried the Mac version, but you can. It's probably possible. I can't say it for 100% sure because I'm not really a Mac user. But as a Linux user, yes, you can easily do it. Easily.
To be the majority of customers. They just want to press a button and have the game happen. And
Really? Really? They're not doing that anymore, though. They're not doing that anymore. If it was, say, the original Xbox, that would have been the case. If it was the original PS2, that would have been the case. If it was the original GameCube, that would have been the case. But we're on the post-Wii era, where we have to see a bunch of interfaces to then play to then click on it and then play the game. So it's becoming more PC-like anyway. PC-ified. P-shitified.
Finally, number 1, all console games have bad frame rates.
You know what? I'm done. Anyway, you already know why this is false, so thanks for watching. Hope you like my fucking shitty takes. And I don't know, I'll see you in a couple months.